Welcome back, and we continue with the conversation we're having with Professor Tawana Kupe. He's also got other commitments he's got to run off to, so we're going to keep this one quite short. Professor Kupe, we were just talking about the impact of virtual graduations, and just recap for viewers who are just joining us now in terms of what the University of Pretoria has been doing to allow your graduates to get to continue with their lives, so to speak.
So what we did is a virtual graduation in which I sat in my office. I went through the formal script that is allowed for me as Vice Chancellor to say. I conferred degrees, diplomas, and certificates on those people whose names are represented in the graduation program. So then that is a formal legal moment where you become a graduate. Some people are not able to come for graduation, for example, so you are graduating absentia, which is what happened yesterday. However, let me make it clear that post-COVID-19, we're going to have the formal, traditional, celebratory graduations, where people come to the university, walk on the stage, get kept, get photographs, go and have parties at home. So now people can continue with their lives. You are now formally a graduate of the University of Pretoria. You are now an alumni. You now carry the flag. And you can now, in situations where the question is asked, did you graduate? Where is your certificate, and so on? And we're in the process of doing the logistics of making people access their evidence of having graduated.
The other aspect of life that is going to continue, Professor Kupe, is students attending lectures and having to adapt to new ways of doing things from here on. Things, for instance, like social distancing. What sort of plan is the university working on in this regard?
Yeah. So what we're working on since the lockdown, and even slightly before, actually is built upon what we were already doing at the University of Pretoria. At the University of Pretoria, we practice what is called hybrid teaching and learning, which is that you will always have contact lessons, but you also always have material online that is interactive, that you can access before class, sometimes also in some classes, during class, we integrate online materials. And after the class, you can also access additional materials and build on what you learned on class, which we call consolidation. So this COVID-19 context where we can't have contact teaching and learning is making us build more on relying on online teaching. And so as I sit right now, as we sit right now, our lecturers and our professors have been busy building their online materials in a much more robust manner than we would normally do when we have hybrid teaching and learning. We're, of course, conscious of the inequalities in our society, where some people do not have access to the internet and do not have devices. I can assure you that we are pulling out all of the stops to actually ensure that we can get those people who are not online to be able to access our materials. We have done a deal with MultiChoice, for example. As a sector, the university sector, we're discussing with your company, the SABC, to get some time also to deliver lectures on that kind of platform. So all manner of preparations are going on right now to ensure that we can recover a sense of the 2020 academic year, so that the students who are in line, who not the ones who graduated yesterday, can also continue with their education.
What do you envisage, or what do you foresee are aspects of delivering education that will never be the same again?
No, I think reliance purely on contact teaching will no longer be the same. Even though it was happening, albeit at a gradual pace, depending on the institution. We were kind of accelerating in that direction, but being mindful of the inequalities. So I think post-COVID-19, people will see greater value in an integration of online and digital platforms in teaching and learning and doing research, and also in ordinary business. I'm sitting here in my home office, if you like, and I'm having this interview with you. I have a series of meetings between now and 1 o'clock, and others after 1 o'clock, which will be sitting where I am right now with multiple groups of people or single individuals. I think we'd appreciate the technology we have always had in our hands, at our fingertips, and use it much more.
Thank you so much for talking to us this morning, Professor Tawana Kupe. He's the Vice Chancellor of the University of Pretoria.